Hello and welcome to the 201st episode of the Game Out Loud podcast. I am, of course, your host this week, Jordan Rusnak. And also I have with me the bug zapper himself, Rob Peterson.
I am the bug zapper. I didn't know we were doing Halloween theme till just now.
Was that Halloween theme? I was trying to be distinguished because we've made it 200 episodes plus. Like, that was just being distinguished. Are you saying that we're not actually distinguished? I'm just dressing up for Halloween?
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, that's very rude of you, sir. Just because I've been sick, which I'm going to apologize in advance if I'm a little bit low energy, but just because I've been sick doesn't mean you can make fun of how I'm doing things, okay?
It doesn't matter if you've been sick. I can and always will make fun of how you do things. So I wouldn't try to get used to clamping down on that.
All right. Well, seeing as we are kind of short for time, and I've been down and out for the count for a couple days. We're gonna try something a little bit different here. We're just gonna kind of BS a little bit, and then maybe talk about some Battlefield 1. Nothing really formal.
Definitely gonna talk about some Battlefield 1.
Oh yeah. All the hours that Rob put into it. He's now a Battlefield master. He will be able to inform you guys as to what's going on there and just how great Battlefield 1 actually is. I'm really excited to hear him talk about that. But I wanted to ask you, Rob, have you watched Black Mirror on Netflix?
No.
Why haven't you watched Black Mirror on Netflix?
Because I've been watching other things.
You should remember how I took your advice a few times and watched things, and I was like, "Yeah, this is great."
No, I don't remember that.
Penny Dreadful.
Did you never watch that?
I'm on episode 3.
Okay.
And I did watch. What was it? Not David Duchovny. McConaughey. True Detective. I watched that all the way through.
Yeah, that one was good.
So I'm gonna pull a I watched those cards and say you need to push Black Mirror up to your up to the top somewhere near there because I think you'll really really enjoy it.
Okay.
It's a look at dystopia, a tech dystopia inside of a tech utopia most times. So it's like, oh, like you've got these implants in your eyes that let you see all this extra information, and it also records things so that you can relive all those awesome memories until you realize that the whole episode you're watching is like a guy who's like sitting there in a decrepit hole, like just playing over and over his like good memories as his life is like ruined and this and that. It's really really cool. I think you'll like it. I mean, that's not
so it's a comedy.
Yeah, a dark comedy maybe, but it's really good, and that's not like an example of an episode. That's just an idea
Okay.
that I took from several different episodes, but it's really good. Black Mirror. It's on Netflix. There's 3 seasons. The first season was only 3 episodes. Then the second season was 4 episodes. Now we're on to 6 episodes. So there's actually a full season for you to watch now.
Well, it's British, I see, so that makes it super easy to talk my wife into watching it. So sounds like we'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one. I really like it. I found it and I was like, wife, you need to see this. And so she started watching it, and we watched all of them in a night. Like whenever a season comes out, we watch it in a night. And this last one was especially good.
Sweet.
But that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about because I thought you would really really like that. Also, I think I have a problem. Multiple problems, but you know how like I got this behind me, right? Well, this is going to change. Eventually, I'm going to have like bookshelves back there, and I get to have my own knickknacks. These are all my wife's knickknacks. So I've been trying to look for stuff on sale.
Nude dolls, all of them.
Yeah.
Sex toys, dildos, vibrators.
I don't know.
Inflatable, whatever, gerbils.
Is this what your man cave looks like?
One of those things that fucking lays eggs into an orifice of your choosing.
What?
Yeah, that one was weird.
That one, like, but I've been.
You don't have one of those? Okay.
No,
maybe it's just me.
Everybody has one of those. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do want to get a lamp to put right there because I don't like how the light's hitting right here. But I just wanted to show you these. Like, these
hold on, I wasn't done. Fleshlights.
No, Joe Rogan already has the lockdown and the fleshlight ad. So
Oh, does he?
yeah. Speaking of, you should watch that too if you haven't seen that. The new Joe Rogan special on Netflix. It's really good.
Oh, yeah, his stand-up's all right.
I enjoy Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan makes me smile.
I like that Joe Rogan. I enjoy his thirst for knowledge. Like
Yes.
I've seen that guy say some dumb shit.
Oh
Like we
yes.
didn't land on the moon, but he when he has a smart guest on, he's just like he's a great host because he asks the right questions. Like he's a perfect everyman stand-in, you know.
Hmm. It's great.
But
Yeah.
when he's doing his stand-up, that's more like him projecting his ideas out, and that interests me less. But
Yeah.
I'll check that.
I really love the podcast. Like his Joe Rogan Experience. I listen to that not nearly as much as I used to. Like I seriously for like 4 or 5 months every night listened to like an episode or two. Like it was I burned myself out on that so hard. But there's so many episodes to backlog. But I can only take so much of it now. But that's a weird tangent. I just want to show you my stupid toy things that I've been collecting to put behind me because I thought you might find this funny. So
Yeah, let's see.
let me grab these real quick. So now here's the best part is that these are all four like different video games that I don't play. So these are like toys to life things, like these Skylanders guys, which I need to pull
Okay.
out of the box. But like that's kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool to have on a knick-knack wall, right?
Yeah, it's really trippy when I see myself reflecting back on that box, even though I'm not in the same room with you.
Oh yeah. Where's Rob? There he is.
Yeah, that's unsettling.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get an angle that doesn't give you a whole bunch of reflection, but I do have a thing right behind it. But yeah, so like there's this little guy I thought would be kind of cool. Of course, you can't have a video game podcast without a Nintendo NES Roby Amiibo. And then little bomber dude.
Yoda,
Yeah, Yoda with bombs. Wouldn't be my
Sploda.
place. I even got these at Best Buy, like without Kylo Ren and then Darth Maul.
Nice.
So you can't really see them. They'll be better when I have it all set up and have all my amiibos from downstairs up here and all my nerdy stuff all set up. Pay attention to like just random sales online, and there's a Best Buy right next to me, and they price match like it's really easy as long as it's like shipped and sold by that or by that main person or the other seller. So I go and look on Target. Target doesn't have like I don't usually go to Target, but they have a super huge deal where like those big box ones I have, those are like 20-25 bucks. I got them for like 350 or like $8 in some cases. Like just look for super little stupid deals like that, and I would just plan to line the back here with knickknacks. It'll be great.
It's a good idea.
Yes. It's not nearly as fun as your background, but it'll be interesting.
My background in my house or the one I proposed
The yes.
for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either one of those I
Yeah.
think is an accurate statement.
I bet they do. I bet they make awesome looking sex toys that would look great in the background.
I mean, I could hide some in
They're
there if you like.
colorful. There's lights. You know, some of them move.
Yeah, I mean,
Get everything going.
How
It
about
might be a little
this?
too noisy.
we'll I'll just like go to some Chinese online retailer and buy like 50 random weird sex
Just-
toys and
Just
mix them in.
Alibaba, like 500 bulk dildos to your house.
Yeah, no, not bulk. I want variety. I want a grab bag. I
Okay.
just want them to take like their rejects bin and then just pour it into a bag and send it to my house. And then I will hide them systematically. And then like maybe we'll run contests or something if you can, like we'll get you a free like humble bundle that week or whatever. Like if you can find the random sex toy in my arrangement back there.
I think actually instead of involving the listeners and viewers, you should just play some pranks on Amy where you like get some dirt and put it on some of these things and then just bring them in and put them wherever your dog, like next to your dog's bowl. So it looks like your dog keeps finding them in the backyard and bringing them in.
Where did you get that? Or even better, leave it in the backyard, just like cover it in like bacon grease.
Oh God. No. Oh.
Well, the dog has to have a
Oh.
reason to grab it. I mean,
Why bacon? Yeah, but what does bacon grease look like, Jordan?
oh, that I didn't even think about that. Oh,
I mean, it's the
apologies.
appropriate coating.
Right? Yeah.
If you'll accept that image in your head for a while.
I don't want to. Let's get back to the little toys being behind me and not bacon grease dildos.
Okay.
Oh God. Actually, you know what? I think that does it. You want to talk about Battlefield?
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about Battlefield.
All right, I'm gonna hit play then. So, at the bottom corner there, you're gonna see just just me playing some Battlefield. I'm not sure how far we're gonna get through this, but just me messing around. Nothing special. When I went to go get the actual special stuff, my actual recordings messed up. So some of this is good, some of this is just hanging around, just BSing Battlefield. But you'll get to see some of it go. But Rob, you, unlike me, are not a very big Battlefield person. So I'd like to kind of get your initial response to how you feel this Battlefield has gone, or how you like it, because you, strangely enough, bought it, which I thought was very, very strange.
It was strange. I don't know what I was thinking.
Neither do I.
I just had a moment
There
of
we go.
slight insanity. But yeah, I picked it up. I need to play more of the campaign. I played like 20 minutes and exited out last night and
Hmm.
was not happy with it, but that's only 20 minutes. So I put in another hour today and it did start to get better. And I'm starting to see why people have been saying this is the best Battlefield campaign yet. I like that they do. I shouldn't say I like it. It changes it up a little that they're kind of doing the Band of Brothers thing and trying to take the war more seriously than they usually do in these types of games.
Yeah, like
Uh,
adding some levity to the beginning of it. Like when you start that game, I don't think it's spoilers. I mean, it's the beginning of the game, but they they literally have you play a division. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna die. It's gonna happen," and I think the way they do that in the beginning of the game by your character zooming out and then zooming into another character and still trying to hold that front, I think they did a very, very good job with that.
yeah, and something. I mean, Call of Duty and Battlefield in particular, and several other similar series, they take themselves very seriously, but they don't take the idea of war very seriously. There's no. I mean, maybe some of the old Medal of Honor games did a bit back when like Spielberg was producing in the late '90s, early 2000s. But since then, there's not really any examination of like, okay, what is war? Why is it bad? Why is it good? If any reason, who are these people that are fighting it? Why are they interesting? That's stuff that it seems just from what little I've played that they're going to actually explore in this campaign. So you actually have a reason to give a shit. It's not just like grumpy guys glaring at each other and shouting off military jargon and jumping out of planes and blowing stuff up. There is plenty of that,
Yes, obviously that's
but
still there.
it's couched in a little better and more interesting story context this time around.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's different about it. Usually, it's exactly what you're talking about. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, I cared nothing about the single player. I played it just because you got something out of it. Um, I've actually been enjoying this single player, and I'm past where you are, just barely, because I mean, to me, Battlefield's about the multiplayer, and that's what I really wanted to get to. Which you less so. So I was really surprised when you're like, yeah, I bought it, and I was like, wait, what? Yes, awesome. Let's play some Battlefield, dude, because I've been wanting to play Battlefield with you for a while. I really, really like it. But let's look at some things here because last night you said some stuff that I was like, ooh, we need to visit that. So you were playing and you're like, God, if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I would just play Call of Duty.
Yeah, and so we should say too, I'm not a guy that plays these kinds of games. I
Yeah,
think
no.
the last, I mean, I did play some of the single player and co-op in what was the last year Battlefield, the cop one,
Oh, Hardline.
Hardline. We reviewed that on the show. We were all pretty lukewarm on it.
Yeah.
Uh, but beyond that, I think the last Battlefield game I played that I owned was like Bad Company, and I only played the campaign on that because I got it on a Steam sale way after it came out,
Hmm.
and it was terrible. And geez, beyond that, I've played a couple of the Call of Duty campaigns, found them increasingly terrible, and that's about all I know about this style of game. So, especially on the multiplayer side, like it's kind of like jumping into this and playing it as a noob feels to me very similar to whatever, probably across all the Call of Duty games I have, maybe 4 hours, and Bad Company 2, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I have played a couple matches of playing this style of game, and they all feel very similar to me. So, yeah, what's aside from the vehicles, which is the big obvious difference, and the map size, what's the real difference here between this and what you're getting in a Call of Duty game?
Well, I don't know if it's this way still, but before Call of Duty was a hit scan game where as long as your cursor was over your enemy, you're going to get the hit. So it very much lent itself to reaction time. Now, I'm not saying that Battlefield doesn't also lend itself to reaction time, but in the cases of like sniping or hitting an enemy from a long distance, they actually have a physics model for the bullet, which is why if you look, you'll see me and like die here and then try to look at somebody and shoot, and I fail because I didn't shoot far enough ahead, or I didn't arc my bullet enough because the bullets have an actual arc to them. And that's what I really like about this game, and the fact that
So you like the ballistics model?
yeah, it makes it much more difficult and much more fun. It feels much more rewarding when you shoot a guy from all the way across the map.
Okay.
And you headshot.
But can you see how someone who doesn't play all these games could jump into both series and go, okay, everything's brown. There's a bunch of dudes in military fatigues with guns running around these very military looking maps, capturing flags, capturing points, bases, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It sure feels a lot alike.
I can see that. If you just jump into it and you don't have somebody there explaining it to you, I mean, Call of Duty and Battlefield, they're going to seem very, very, very similar. But it's when you get into it, and this with World War One, I think they did a very, very good job with the setting and how they built everything. And one thing I really loved about Battlefield, and I actually started with Call of Duty, and I jumped into Battlefield Bad Company 2, and that game was so much better for me because like you would have these big sprawling maps that were absolutely massive. They weren't small confined corridors like Bad Company like Call of Duty had. The buildings that were there were destructible. So if you had TNT or you had C4, you could destroy a building and kill everybody inside. Like if someone was hunkering in a building, just shoot a rocket at it. That cover's gone. Then just throw a grenade in, shoot the guy. Done. Whatever. The whole buildings could be destroyed. After that, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, they felt much more like their level design was about, hey, look how pretty this is. Look at this like big thing that we've built. It felt very much Call of Duty because it was very, very limited in what you could be destroyed. Here, it feels much, much bigger. The things that are there feel like they're much more destructible, and it doesn't feel like they're destructible like, oh, here's the outline of what's going to fall away and break. Oh, here's this. It really feels like when something gets destroyed, the parts that are there actually break apart and show that. And that's fantastic because when you're sitting there like running for cover and there's a tank that's coming after you and you're trying to get to cover and you get behind a wall and all of a sudden a tank shell explodes and your headphones, your 7.1's going on and that debris just flies past you and you can see all the pieces. You turn around, there's nothing there, but you can see the jagged pieces of the building still there. You're not going to see that in Call of Duty. Like the scale and the intensity of what's going on is much greater. Plus, now they've added this destruction model that isn't just for the big things. So I don't have any video of it, unfortunately, here because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is sniping and I'm outside, like trying to get used to the game. But even your own grenades, the standard grenade that every character carries, that can cause like potholes and damage to the world. Like, you throw enough grenades, you can actually have a hole in the ground that you can lay in and then throw stuff out of. Trenches become something that, like, because of mortars, because of, like, shellings, because of that, it becomes a wasteland. Like the level starts off as one thing and completely evolves into something else, or has the ability to. And but previously that was all staged. That was something that happened. They called it levolution. It was something that was really cool in Battlefield 3 and 4, but it wasn't very organic. Now it happens organically. If you take down a Zeppelin in the sky, it can crash and it seems like it can hit any number of places and cause damage to that area. It's not just a controlled thing.
That's cool, and that's something I didn't notice. Because, I mean, we only played half a match.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming into this, I'm talking about the multiplayer basically as someone who's never played it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and based on the video here, I look like somebody who hasn't played it either. I used to really pride myself on my sniping ability, and I am doing terrible in a lot of these games. I've gotten much better. I was actually hoping to record my last session, but it didn't. I was streaming it for Ryan, who was like, "Oh, I want to see it," and he's like, I'm streaming it for him using NVIDIA. And he's like, "Man, this looks amazing. Now, how do I play it?" And I'm like, "Oh, hold on. Hit a few buttons." I'm like, "All right, go ahead." And he's like, well, "Go ahead, what?" I'm like, "Play." He's like, "Are you shitting me?" And I'm like, "No." And he starts playing from Chicago on my computer, playing Battlefield 1 multiplayer, and kills a few people.
That's pretty awesome.
It was ridiculous, dude. Shout out to NVIDIA for that, because that is so badass. But yeah, I am really, really enjoying this. The way they did change quite a bit in how the game actually functions. You're no longer, it feels, unlocking unlocks for different weapons. You're leveling up your character to get war bonds, which then war bonds get you new variations on the weapons that are available for that class that emphasize one aspect of play or another. So like you could get a gun that is like a Russian sniper rifle, but for some reason has a higher hip fire if you play more offensive and in the fray. But whereas me, I want something that's going to have like a better stability and accuracy because I'm shooting off in the distance. I don't like being up in the fray when I first start playing these games. But then you can get different stuff like that and customize your reticle, the zoom, the iron sights. I'm really truly impressed with the way they set that up. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling.
So what about the modes in this? Is this classic Battlefield game types, or what's new here? Like, and what are you enjoying?
So the classic Conquest is there, Rush, Domination. Those are 3 standard Battlefield types. Conquest is just a large map where you have between 3 to usually 6 or 7 points, sometimes upwards of 10, depending. I think it was 10. Like one of the biggest maps had a whole bunch of points, and you all had to hold them. 10 sounds high. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But you all have to hold the points, and then a ticker fills up, and it also fills up as you kill the enemy team. So that's Conquest. Rush. There are 2 points that the enemies are trying to get to an arm. You're trying to stop them. As they explode, you move across the map. 2, 2, 2, 2. And then you get to the end. Then that's over. Domination is kind of like a mobile capture the flag. Except for, sorry, not really. It's 1 point. There's a bomb. Somebody has the bomb. You have to get it to the enemy's territory and destroy their stuff. You can trade the bomb back and forth. Do stuff like that. Then you've got, now they have like something to do with pigeons. I haven't played the new ones yet, the new modes.
Oh man, that's funny. So that first tank mission, when you finish it, like, spoiler alert for the first mission in the game, it sends a carrier pigeon off, and my wife walked out with dinner right when that cutscene was happening, so I wasn't paying attention. So that it's this poignant moment, and this bird's flying, and there's this beautiful music, and I'm just watching this cutscene, and it just goes on and on and on with this fucking bird flying and the piano music. I'm like, what? When is this going to end? And then I see, leaving battle area, 9, 8, 7, 6. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this cutscene?
Poorly trained.
And then it gets down to 0, and the bird just dies and falls out of the sky. And I was like, oh shit, it wasn't a cutscene anymore.
I was playing this.
I was supposed to be flying that bird.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's that's great, dude. Your message did not get there. Edwards and his crew were overrun by the Austro-Hungarian forces.
That was the funniest thing. When the bird died, it said my character died. So it's like RIP, and it's like Sergeant blah blah blah, 1885 to 1916 or whatever. It's just this dead bird falling out of the air.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. And like, wow, that was a Jordan moment. I broke a moment in a game that someone worked really hard on just completely on accident. So
What did I do? I broke it. I broke that game like instantly. What is it I did? Um, I needed a repair tool to repair my stuff, but I managed to get around back behind that trigger and get like a stronger weapon in place of my repair tool to cause damage to something that was coming up. And then I went to go back and I couldn't find my repair tool, so I couldn't actually finish that level. So I had to
I did
reload.
the exact same thing. That's where I was right before we started this. Yeah. I cleared out that you're talking about right after the tank level when you're on foot with the other tank following you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cleared out that first little village you get into, and I went and swapped out my repair tool, and then the tank was just sitting there, and the guy just it's amazing how many little barks he had telling me to come fix it just over and over and over again. I was running around going, where the hell is it? And then I figured out what I did.
Yeah, I had to reload.
But
It does break that little bit, but man, it's a lot of fun. I gotta say, you can go back in the podcasts. I was not excited about this. I was not happy with the World War I aesthetic. I did not have high hopes for this as far as a gameplay perspective. Crow doesn't taste very good. It's kind of gamey. But I gotta say, this very much feels like the Bad Company 2 that brought me into the Battlefield world, and for that I am very, very thankful. And I want to point out here, you'll notice I'm selecting where I'm going here, and I zoom down into the map. You never actually leave the map. You don't go to a different world, like a splash screen to do anything. When you die, you zoom out to that overview. It shows you exactly where you died. Like, you zoom out from that point, and when you zoom in, it's random where you go, but you will zoom in and it'll show you where you launched instead of just spawning you. It is such a nice aesthetic for those of us that have been playing Battlefield for a while. Now, I gotta say, there are some things I'm wishing that they had included. I was hoping they would get to, like proximity VoIP. Someone's closer to you, you can talk to them instead of just being on your squad. That way you can have somebody, like if you're all in a tank, you can communicate with the people in the tank instead of having to be in a squad with them. That's still not there. Of course, there have been some weird glitches where my guy infinitely reloads his gun, or just like has a seizure and like falls over, or or just twitches. Like there's some weird stuff that goes on in it, because it is a Battlefield game. It is early on, but I can say at least it does seem to be much more stable than Battlefield 4 was at launch, which that's what I was really, really worried about. You and I had some online jank last night, Rob, but that was about all that I've had.
That was server issues, though. That wasn't game engine fuck ups.
Yeah, but DICE is kind of notorious for their day one server problems.
Oh. Well, and they were minor. It was more, I think it was something with a connection between you and I rather than between the servers and us.
I believe that is also the case.
It may not have even been the game's fault. But yeah, tech seems solid. And you talked about the destruction technology. It's really cool. Graphically, I'm not complaining, but it doesn't feel like holy shit like Battlefront did.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is probably more down to just, World War I was not quite as visually spectacular as as Star Wars is for a setting. But when I played the beta for Battlefront, I just remember I had screenshots that looked like they were out of a movie, and I don't think there's anything in this game that is going to trick you into thinking that. But it is good looking. It's just not. I don't feel like it's a bar-raising game visually. It's just par.
No, I don't think it is either. It runs very, very, very well. It seems to run actually better than Battlefield 4 did on my system, which I appreciate. It actually, I have it ultra'd all the way out. I did scale it up to 150% resolution from 1080.
Nice.
And
you just do that in the game menu?
Yeah.
Nice.
And there I dropped to 59 frames per second, 57, 59. So I scaled it back down.
But and you're on a GTX 970 and what's your CPU?
4790K.
Okay, so you're on the exact same computer I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it runs like butter.
Yeah, just really, really well. If you look at your temperatures, it doesn't really run as hot as Battlefield 3 or 4 would have. I'm actually really impressed with what they do with how much they have going on. Um, it's just fantastic. It looks great. It seems to play very, very well. It's very, very fluid and smooth, man. Like you can see, it's running down there at 60 frames per second. I'm not sure if that's translating over on your side, but
Yeah, and I want to say too, like this stuff here that we're seeing, the last Battlefield campaign I played had nothing like this. This feels like a first person shooter. Like you're running around a space, you're in control. You can pick cover where you want. I mean, it feels more like I'm playing Halo or something than I am just this fucking scripted duck hunt. You know, what's the word I'm looking? Shooting gallery thing that they were trying to do on the last couple campaigns. So
this is me
that was
playing
appreciated.
multiplayer. So
Oh, this is still okay.
yeah,
But there are some single player areas that are open like that where I was running around and I was like, wow, this isn't taking control away from me every 5 feet
no,
to
yeah, I
blow
was
up some
amazed
big
by that
cinematic in
too.
my face.
Where you were like specifically where you're escorting that tank. I could go out that the way
Yeah,
I want. I went about it stealthily. Weirdly enough, I kill everybody sneakily, and then didn't have any alarm raised.
yeah. So that makes me excited to play more of the campaign, and I'll probably keep plugging away on it and hopefully come back next week with a complete review. But
Right. We'll have to play some multiplayer too. Get you in on that because that's really where the beef is. That's where the whole meat of the game is. It's a very, very good game, and I think you'd really enjoy it if you just get into it. But you got to remember, you're gonna die a lot. Like it's gonna get frustrating. You're gonna be like, God damn it! Like I should have made that hit. I really want them. Now here's another knock against it. Man, am I not happy about the fact they don't have hardcore mode in it yet. Hardcore is what I play in Battlefield. It's where you don't have any respawn. There's no crosshairs on the hip fire. You don't have any respawn on health. You respawn, but it's just the hard version of the game. But when you get the drop on somebody, you get the drop on them. Like I'm not very good at constantly keeping my thing on somebody, but I'm very good at getting that first shot to get the kill. And here you'll get like 90 damage, 90% damage. And it's like, oh, so he has 10% left just because they didn't want to give me the instant kill. Like, that shouldn't happen when I sniped you in the face.
right.
And that happens more often than I like to admit. So I'm really waiting for that to happen where they give me my hardcore mode.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing more single player, so I just get used to the weapon feel because that'll help me a lot in multiplayer, I think.
Yeah, and the weapons feel so good. Like I know you don't have a frame of reference from before, but here I'm shooting down a plane and it's taking damage. You can actually take down planes with guns, which is really cool.
Well, yeah, and I'm not a big multiplayer shooter guy, but I've played lots of single player campaigns, and just on that basis alone, I think the weapons feel and sound great. I mean, yeah, this game has strong fundamentals, and that matters a lot. And it's not hard to nail. And it's amazing how many games don't nail it. The definitely Hardline did not.
No,
So
that game felt like garbage.
yeah, it felt like you were shooting cap guns.
But it's really, really good. I think you'll like it if you give it a chance. And I think it's varied enough in the fact that it's World War One, that it's not just like your everyday shooter. So, yeah, I look forward to playing more with you and playing more myself and learning how this game actually works because it does function very differently than I'm used to as far as a Battlefield game goes.
Right. Yeah, and I'm also on the World War One setting. It's fun to be placed in situations that I've seen a million times in World War Two games and movies, or like areas in a completely different war. It's like you get so used to Normandy and all the stuff in France, and then you're in France in a World War One game, and it's a totally different situation. It feels familiar, but fresh at the same time, I guess.
Dude, so I was in a spot in France. I can't remember where it was in here, and it looked like I was just in a city, and I just went up to one of the random doors, and I was like, haha, button, and it actually opened. I was like, what the hell? Went inside, like it was modeled inside, like I could go in and get into a perch and had a view that I didn't know you could get to.
Family cooked you dinner.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually a little hostile.
their little kids like started to really like you, and then you walked out and died right in front of them, and then they cried and wrote
Actually,
about it in their
I was
journals.
gonna say this is actually terrible because someone killed me by throwing like 3 stick grenades in there. That'd have been bad for that poor little family.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that. Like right here, I'm like we missed it, but I watched a blimp fall. You can go back and check it
Yeah.
out there. But I'm crawling in. That was a part of the level that I'm now like that was in the sky. That was an attack, like a weapon that you could all get and attack people with, and I'm now crawling in it as rubble. Like it's amazing what they've done with this game and how good. Like I mean, you say it's not like amaze balls. I still think what they've done with it looks absolutely amazing.
No, oh, just the graphics.
Yeah, and what they're able to do.
It definitely looks good. No, I am impressed with what they can do. I just mean, just purely on a visual level, when I fired up Battlefront, I went, holy shit. Like, this is what games look like. And when I fired this game up, I went, oh, it looks good. You know,
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I think it's the same engine and everything. So a lot of that's down to art design. And it's probably, it takes, I'd imagine, less processing power to render like a Stormtrooper than it does, a bunch of dudes in white flat armor than it does to a bunch of dudes in full fatigues and packs and camo and
Right? That seemed like they actually can react to the physics in the world.
yeah, so that may have a little something to do with it as well. But
There's a tank. Tanks. I love how tanks are in this game. Like they're not tanks like we know. They're like engines with metal boxes around them.
yeah, they break. They're
Yeah.
shitty.
Like there's one breaking. Look at that. God, it looks amazing. Look at that fire.
Yeah, the particle effects look awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wish we'd set this up so I can have that full screen. Because it's kind of cool looking. But man, I have a lot of fun with this. I'm really glad you picked it up and kind of happy that EA didn't give you your refund back because then you're kind of like, oh, I spent the money. We better get some money out of it.
Yeah, so I chickened out right after I bought it and thought I'd get a refund, and the refund like glitched out and it's sitting in limbo. So I said, "Fuck it, we'll play it." So full review next week, I guess.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll talk more about it then. I think, yeah, given the time, we need to go ahead and make like bananas and head out. Make like babies and split. And we're going to generally make like trees and leaf. So thank you guys for tuning in. And thanks, Rob, for making the time.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can reach us at gameoutloudpodcast@gmail.com. We're at Game Out Loudcast. And you can find us on iTunes, but mostly on YouTube right now. So we will check you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed our little bit here of Battlefield. I'll get you some more better footage next week, and we'll have Rob's full-on opinion of how awesome Battlefield actually is. And until that, we will see you next week.